Presentation of Learfield IMG College. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of Learfield IMG College.
Live from Philadelphia as we get set for a CAA women's basketball contest between the Elon Phoenix and the Drexel Dragons. Alongside Chris Markowitz, I'm Ari Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here on NBC Sports Philly Plus. And Chris, the Dragons coming off their first loss on Friday night in the last 13 games.
Yeah, it was a tough one, Ari. A triple overtime loss. They had their chances, but defense did not play well. Allowed William & Mary to shoot 55% from the floor. That's really what killed them.
And the Dragons remain in second place, even despite the loss. As we take a look at the standings, now 2 full games behind JMU, who battle Towson today, who is in third. Elon all the way down at the bottom. But Chris, that really makes today and the last 2 games of the season against JMU and Towson so important.
Yeah, it does, Ari. You got to defend home court here today, but like you mentioned, you're going on the road now against the number 1 and the number 3 team, respectively, this upcoming week. So this week is going to be huge for where the Dragons finish in the regular season.
And the Dragons will need big contributions from forward Nikki Metzel, who had a great game on Friday night in the loss.
Coming off a career-high 21 points. I love offensively where her confidence is right now. Baseline jumpers and free throws, she's nailing those. But defensively, she made huge plays. She made a big steal in the third quarter, finished off in transition. That was a huge bucket that gave Drexel momentum. But the biggest play of the game, I thought, for Drexel was the charge she took at the end of regulation. Not only did Reynolds foul out, but it prevented a layup that would have given William & Mary the lead, and it gave the Dragons a chance to go to OT.
And Metzel played really well with that career high. And the Dragons take on the Elon Phoenix today, who lost 3 key players to graduation, 1 to transfer, and 1 injured the first game of the year. But 1 player who has played well despite the struggles is Emily Moffitt.
She had 14 points against the Dragons last time out. Tough guard at the forward position because of her size.
We'll have starting lineups next. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
Home is more than a place. It's a feeling. It's pushing yourself to the top of the hill before your morning commute. It's the lure of your secret fishing spot. It's having a big team meeting after a day at the office. At Independence Blue Cross, we know the feeling because your hometown is our hometown too. For nearly 80 years, Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
This is it. This is the time of year when everything is on the line. There's no we'll get them next time. It's win or go home. March Madness is just around the corner. The CAA Women's Basketball Tournament is coming to the University of Delaware March 13th to the 16th. 10 teams, 1 goal, to be crowned champion. Go to caasports.com for more information.
23, Ellie Greenberg, and the center, 6'2" senior from Prague, Czech Republic, number 34, Tereza KRACIKOva. The head coach of the Dragons is Denise Dillon. The assistants are Amy Mallon, Stacey Weiss, Michelle Baker, and Mike Aldinger.
Welcome back to the DAC as you take a look at the starting lineups. It's senior day, and Aline Maskalk making her second career start. Tereza KRACIKOVA with her first, joining Drexel's leading scorer Bailey Greenberg, and then Hannah Nyhill and Aubrey Brown. And for Elon, the point guard who has the basketball right now is freshman Bree Perpignan. Lexi Mercer also in the backcourt, Anna Popovich and Emily Maupin in the front court. And then the other starter is Ariana Nance. Alongside Chris Markowitz, I'm Maury Bluestein. Thank you for joining us here from Philadelphia from the Daskalakis Athletic Center. As Elon won the tip, missed the first shot, and then Brown ties up Popovich at the possession arrow in favor of the Dragons. And Drexel, Chris, I'll bring you in here. Tess and Aline Maskalk starting here on senior day. Great to see them getting some time here in their last regular season home game.
Yeah, it is, Ari. They've been great contributors off the bench this season and throughout their careers. But, you know, on senior day to see these players get some starts and get some more minutes than we're used to, always good to see.
So the Dragons with possession after Elon won the tip. A lot of youth on this Elon team as Greenberg with the mismatch and wins the battle against Lexi Mercer. And if Greenberg can get that all day, it's going to be a long day for Elon.
Yeah, that's usually a good sign when Bailey Greenberg has a wide open layup to start a game. That means 20 points might be within her range.
Perpignan has her shot blocked by Aline Maskalk. Her third block of the year.
And it's great to see her as a senior getting the start and making a big play in the opening minute.
Nyhill, the sophomore, runs the point for the Dragons. Here's Maskalk. Under 10 to shoot. KRACIKOVA is fouled by Anna Popovich. First foul of the game.
There was some good off-ball movement there by the Dragons, but they were just a little bit late to get into their set, so they got a little bailed out by that foul because the shot clock was down to 7 seconds.
And now it'll be a fresh 30 for the Dragons. This is Greenberg to inbound. Nyhill in the corner, dribbles out of it. And Nyhill gets it back on the handoff from Maskalk. Brown open for a moment. Greenberg, good pump fake, the leaner, and she drew the foul as Ariana Nance fouled her from behind, trying to catch up off the pump fake. And Bailey Greenberg, she's the Dragons' leading scorer for a reason.
She's the Dragons' leading scorer and the leading scorer in CAA play this season at 19.5 points per game. She's been making her case already all season long for CAA Player of the Year.
4-time CAA Player of the Week, including last week. As one more look here at this one, Chris.
And then what makes Bailey so dangerous is she has that quick rip off the pump fake. She gets into the lane so quickly, can put up the shot. You have to foul her, otherwise it's a wide open jumper.
Substitution for Elon as Greenberg makes both. Jalen Powell, 5'10 sophomore, into the game. Very good player off the bench for head coach Charlotte Smith in her 8th season at the helm for Elon, and of course Denise Dillon in her 16th season for the Dragons. Nance has her shot rejected with an exclamation point by Bailey Greenberg.
Great defense on the interior thus far by the Dragons, 2 blocks to start.
Greenberg, good dribble drive, but mishandled it when she tried to pass it to Aubrey Brown. Now the Dragons will reset with Nyhill and Perpignan all over her. Nyhill down the lane with the left hand, couldn't get the roll. Brown grabs the floorboard. And one thing the Dragons did well on Friday night, despite the loss, was crash the offensive glass.
Yeah, they did. They were very impressive. That was one of their focuses, was to win the rebounding battle, maybe defensively, but offensively, they really won the offensive rebounding battle.
Nyhill having trouble getting up inside the lane. That's Nyhill hitting the deck count #1 as Maskalk launches the set shot and drills the 3. And Chris, that is her game. Love to see her drill a 3 here on senior day.
And that was a deep one. It fires up the crowd with a hand in her face. Impressive shot by Maskalk.
Maskalk has played, in limited time. She's now 6 of 21 from beyond the arc this year in limited action. Dragons scoring the first 7 of this one. Powell trying to break the ice for the Phoenix as she does. The sophomore from Raleigh averages 7.5 a game.
Tough take on the interior by Powell, but she's a great 3-point marksman as well, shooting 43% coming into today.
This Elon team, a lot of youth, losing 3 very important players to their 2-time CAA championship squads. Shea Burnett, Malaya Johnson, and Mimi Garner. And then Rashika White transferred over to Middle Tennessee State. And then Jada Graves, the CAA Defensive Player of the Year last year, got hurt in their first game of the year against North Carolina. So it was just a rough start for this Elon team. And you see right here, wholesale changes. Head coach Charlotte Smith trying to mix things up and find some answers for this Phoenix squad.
I think find some answers is well said. All right, this is a team, like you said, very young and just not a lot of experience playing together as well. That core from the championship team completely gone this season.
Ariel Colon, Sadia Munford, and Kayla Lyles all coming into the contest for the Phoenix. For the Dragons, no substitutions as of yet. Nihil, great hesitation. She had an open layup, but passed it outside instead. Now she gets another opportunity, and she misses it. KRACIKOVA, the putback, and gets the roll. So both seniors with a bucket here in the opening 4 minutes.
Great hustle play there by Tess, a friendly roll, but that's going to go down on senior day.
Dragons with a great start in this one, up by 7. Here's Cologne guarded by Brown. Puts on the brakes and kicks it out to Perpignan. Over a double team, Perpignan can't get it to go, and KRACIKOVA clears the glass. Nihil all the way under the basket. Greenberg in the post, over Powell, can't get the roll, and the rebound deflected by Lyles over to Powell.
It's a good shot by Greenberg, just a tough angle. Usually gets that to go.
That's a great look by Sadia Munford. Drops it off to Kayla Lyles.
And good job there by Lyles running the floor, making that lane an easy pass for the point guard to make that.
Wholesale changes upcoming for the Dragons. Very, very rare you see that it's 5 in, 5 out for Drexel.
I actually can't remember the last time in my 5 years I've seen that from Drexel.
Certainly hasn't been this year. Shot clock winding down. Nihil, great find. Greenberg with the left hand.
Yeah, Nihil's doing a great job early on of penetrating, getting to the rim. She had some open looks initially. Now they have to crash onto her. Greenberg's going to be open cutting.
Back up to a 7-point advantage, matching the largest of the game so far. Perpignan a good drive, and KRACIKOVA got a piece of it. Nihil all the way up ahead to Brown, but a great transition defensive play by Munford. She gets the pass back from Perpignan, and Elon will now settle into the half court. But that shows you a little bit of what Munford can do. She struggled at times, and right there, bowls over Hannah Nihil, and she draws the offensive foul.
Yeah, that was an easy call for the ref because it was clear extension of the elbow.
Well, the Dragons with the early lead, getting some help from the seniors. Maskalk and KRACIKOVA with a bucket and a block apiece as the Dragons lead the Elon Phoenix 11-4. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
Home is more than a place. It's a feeling. It's pushing yourself to the top of the hill before your morning commute. It's the lure of your secret fishing spot. It's having a big team meeting after a day at the office. At Independence Blue Cross, we know the feeling because your hometown is our hometown too. For nearly 80 years, Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
This is it. This is the time of year when everything is on the line. There's no we'll get them next time. It's win or go home. March Madness is just around the corner. The CAA Women's Basketball Tournament is coming to the University of Delaware March 13th to the 16th. 10 teams, one goal, to be crowned champion. Go to CAAsports.com for more information.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The world will change. Drexel University is designed to change with it. By embracing change as the world moves forward, Drexel is constantly learning and evolving. Preparing the next generation of leaders able to anticipate and address the challenges of tomorrow. Because the future can't wait.
What does it mean to be a CAA student athlete? It's passion, commitment, accountability, preparing for the real world, discipline on the court and in the classroom. CAA Hoops. It's only for those who want it most.
Take charge of your health with Independence Blue Cross and get access to achieve well-being, free online tools that make being healthier easier. Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Dragons up 7, led by head coach Denise Dillon in her 16th season. 302 and 201, not a bad mark for her. And Elon's head coach Charlotte Smith in her 8th year, and she was a phenomenal player at the University of North Carolina, hit the game winner in the 1994 NCAA championship game.
Not a bad coach either. Last year when I worked the CAA championship game doing sideline, had a chance to speak with her a bunch of times. A pleasant interview, Ari. Great insight on the game of basketball.
And of course, back-to-back CAA champs. They won it here at the DAC against Drexel last year. Wholesale changes, as we mentioned, for the Dragons were upcoming. Kishana Washington, Nikki Metzel, Mariah Leonard, Kayla Bacon, and Anna Ferrariu all in for the Dragons. And out of bounds again. Washington will inbound. 9 to shoot for Drexel. Munford got a piece of it, but the Dragons were able to get it back. Washington will have to force it up. Got the back of the rim. And Lyles with the rebound. Good defensive possession for Elon. Number 52, Michaela Ryan, a 6'1 freshman into the game. Good drive by Lyles, the freshman from Maryland, but couldn't get the bounce.
Should have went with the left there.
Romanian Rocket on a Ferrariu down the lane, and Kayla Bacon in and out. Metzel, offensive rebound, and Nikki Metzel picking up right where she left off on Friday night.
You took the words right out of my mouth. A great offensive board goes right back up through the D.
Dragons up 9, their largest lead of this first quarter. Here's Munford off the pass from Cologne. Good find, but Metzel was ready for it and knocked it away, and Leonard came up with the steal. Bacon to Washington, beautiful ball movement, and Ferrariu gets taken down, but I think the Elon player, which I believe was Ariel Cologne, took the worst of that hit. Went down awkwardly. Glad to see she is okay. And Anna Ferrariu, great ball fake to get her defender off the ground. One more look.
Yeah, here it is. Obvious foul call there. But what I liked about that is we saw the transition speed of these 3 guards, Washington, Ferrariu, and Bacon. Out in transition, they just played it so quickly.
Ferrariu missing the free throw, who coming into Friday night was 12 of 14, but she's now missed her last 3. She missed 2 on Friday night and now missed 1 here. And Anna's been a good piece off the bench. She hasn't scored a ton, 3 a game, but she's done a lot of things that don't always show up in the box score, facilitating for her teammates as she makes the second. But you can see the Dragons can hit you with a lot of different lineup combinations this year, and here's one of them with the 3 fast guards. That's a good find. Maupin will drop it in, and Elon's leading scorer gets her first 2 of the contest.
Yeah, it looked like the Dragons just lost her in that zone defense. No one picked her up cutting baseline.
Kayla Bacon guarded by Lexi Mercer. Bacon, oh, that was a good pass, but Metzel was covered. Lyles on the run for Elon. She was stripped, and that will go to Drexel. Credit Kishana Washington with the hustle.
Great hustle by Washington, but that forced pass to Metzel, that's a couple possessions now since this lineup turnover has occurred that the Dragons have been caught trying to force passes to Metzel on the inside. They got to be careful there.
Well, you've got some youth here with Washington as the freshman, Bacon as the sophomore. And Ferrariu only a junior, but her and Metzel, the 2 juniors on the floor right now. Leonard, the redshirt sophomore. Ferrariu cross court, in rhythm. Metzel, the jumper, short. And then a foul on Metzel trying to get around Maupin. And Maupin hits the deck.
Yeah, Metzel not able to get that one to go, but she was making that shot all night long against William and Mary. And I think a couple months ago, Ari, she pump fakes and drives there. I like that she's aggressive now and actually taking that jumper in rhythm.
Maupin, okay. She'll rejoin the action. Ariana Nance, the redshirt freshman, back in for Kayla Lyles. Dragons have not trailed. They came right out of the gate strong with 7 straight. Since then have held a solid lead over the Elon Phoenix here on Senior Day. Nance puts on the brakes. The turnaround is no good. Metzel with a strong rebound.
And it just came to my attention, Ari, that the 5-player substitution is likely because of all the minutes that everyone had to play on Friday night. Coach Dillon trying to use the full depth of her bench because players are probably exhausted having played 50-plus minutes.
Yeah, Bailey Greenberg, as Drexel turns it over, Bailey Greenberg played all 55 minutes in the triple overtime game. There you see head coach Denise Dillon, and again in her 16th season at the helm of the Dragons, a standout on the main line at Villanova, and a phenomenal coaching staff around her with Amy Mallon, Stacey Weiss, and Michelle Baker as the jumper off the mark for Cologne, and the rebound by Anna Ferrariu, and she turns it over. Not a great look from Anna, looking ahead for Nikki Metzel. Cologne thought about it. Munford inside the Maupin, guarded by Metzel. This should be a pretty good matchup here. The 2 players we featured, Leonard with the help D, tie up, possession arrow in favor of Elon, so they will keep it with 13 to shoot.
But that's perfect defense by Metzel. Take away baseline, force her into the middle of the court, and then Leonard will come with the help and force a steal.
Ferrariu out, Brown back in. Brown, one of those 3 players who played over 50 minutes. Greenberg, as we mentioned, played all 55, and Nihill played over 50 as well. Munford trying to get somebody to come to the ball. Maupin is double teamed. Cologne from the free throw line can't get the roll as the shot clock expires, and Metzel with another solid rebound.
Yeah, strong board there, using the body to box out and come down with that one.
And they don't call her Big Country for nothing, Chris Markowitz. So the Dragons with possession here. They have not trailed. Up by 8. Washington, the step back 3 around the rim and out. Shot clock goes off. Here comes Ariel Cologne. Cologne tried to pass it to Maupin, and it gets deflected by Drexel and goes in the bucket. I guess you credit Cologne on that.
Yeah, it's tough. Leonard with great hustle there. It just happened to deflect the wrong way.
You don't see that too often. 5 seconds for Drexel. It'll have to be Kayla Bacon. Got it. Kayla Bacon knocks down the mid-range J to put the Dragons in front by 8. And for the Dragons, Nikki Metzel with a strong finish here in the first quarter, doing some work on the glass, but Elon staying in it, and a little bit of luck as well. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
I am a CAA student athlete. I respect myself. Through respecting myself, I respect my opponent.
Through respecting my opponent, I respect the game. Through respecting the game, I respect the officials.
Through respecting the officials, I respect the outcome.
My example, in victory or defeat, nurtures respect in others.
Will you follow my lead?
We are the coaches of women's basketball. We are leaders and teachers, dreamers and winners. We are professionals who conduct ourselves ethically and with integrity. We place the education, safety, and well-being of the athletes we coach above all else, and teach them the fundamental values they need to succeed in life. We are coaches united for the good of our game and those who play it. We are the WBCA.
What does it mean to be a CAA student athlete? It's passion, Commitment. Accountability. Preparing for the real world. Discipline on the court and in the classroom. CAA Hoops. It's only for those who want it most.
Steamfitters Local 420 proudly supports Drexel Athletics. Steamfitters represents the most skilled pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC technicians. Visit lu420.org or unitedbyexcellence.org to learn more. Dragons up 16-8 after the first quarter. And there's Charlotte Smith, the 8th-year head coach for Elon. Phenomenal player at UNC. We mentioned she hit the game winner in the '94 NCAA championship game, and she has turned this Elon women's basketball program around. They are a contender year in and year out. This is a little bit of a rebuild year, but I think they'll be back in the thick of things next year.
Oh, I think they'll be back with a vengeance. She's too good of a coach for them not to be.
Dragons ball, Aubrey Brown, Hannah Nyhill in with Greenberg, along with Bacon and Leonard. Shot clock winding down. Bacon again, knifes through the D and lays it up for two.
Bacon is sizzling today at the DAC, Ari. An aggressive drive there on the baseline, and she finishes it for the deuce.
10-point advantage matches the largest lead of the game for the Dragons. Perpignan, back in the game, and Greenberg comes up with the steal. She had 8 of them on Friday night in triple overtime. Comes up with a steal there.
Yeah, did a great job of jumping the passing lane. We've seen that throughout her career, active not only offensively, but on the defensive end of the floor.
Nyhill guarded by Perpignan. A near steal for Nance. Bacon gets by the D, dishes to Brown, misfires, but tracks down the long rebound. Now a nice little stutter step past Maupin, can't finish. Greenberg able to pry it free. And again, the Dragons doing a great job on the offensive glass here today.
Good job on the glass and a good drive by Brown. She recognized Maupin didn't have the quickness to take her off the dribble, but she's got to capitalize on the interior.
Already 4 offensive rebounds, 7 second chance points off of those boards. A little pick and roll, Bacon to Greenberg with the left hand. She's got 8 to lead all scorers.
And that was a great feed by Bacon. She's playing well here today, has 4 points and a couple good passes out there.
We all know what Kayla Bacon is capable of. It's just a matter of her getting some time on the floor to showcase what she has. Nance left open off the fake, can't get it to go. Bacon with the rebound. Bacon, a very athletic guard. With a long wingspan, she can really do a lot of different things for the Dragons. Greenberg with the mismatch, high-low, misfires Leonard, another Drexel offensive rebound. Nyhill will launch it, bang! Hannah Nyhill from 3, and Charlotte Smith has to call a timeout with the Dragons up 23-8.
And that is a great sign for the Dragons when Nyhill has her 3-point shot working. She is a tough guard.
So the Dragons up 23-8, and they are rolling, leading 7-0. Here in the second quarter, just the way they started the first. Nyhill drills it. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philly Plus.
What does it mean to be a CAA student athlete? It's passion, commitment, accountability, preparing for the real world, discipline on the court and in the classroom. CAA Hoops. It's only for those who want it most.
Speed. Power. This trophy is not given, it must be earned. The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships. May 25th through 27th at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia.
In the stick, boom, on the money, Cradle on the pass.
with their first championship.
Visit ncaa.com/lacrosse to get your tickets today.
Drexel is the modern American research university. We do translational research, we do cooperative education, we do urban extension. The place is just bursting with opportunity, and as a result, it's a very, very special place full of great people who are doing amazing, amazing things.
The ethos of Drexel, to learn by doing, is really 100% compatible with what a comprehensive research university is and has to be. That experiential learning is essential and really differentiates our students from the pack.
Research is really just about discovering new things, trying to create knowledge, insight, innovation in all forms. We bring together students, faculty, and staff from across the university to pursue highly multidisciplinary projects. So that can be music and engineering, that can be robotics and dance performance, that can be material science and fashion design.
The things that have happened here and the speed at which they've happened is a tribute to a community that will never rest on its laurels.
Everything that I'm doing now is trying to make the world a better place. My mission is to change the world, but I'm going to do it one student at a time, one innovation at a time, one class at a time. Every interaction, I want to make a difference in this world, and it's wonderful to be able to do that here at Drexel University.
Academy Bus, the East Coast leader in bus transportation services, is proud to be the official ground transportation provider for Drexel Athletics. Learn more about how Academy Bus can help move your group at academybus.com. Well, the Dragons and the Elon Phoenix have really had a back and forth history, and the Dragons, in fact, losing to Elon here at home in the conference championship game. And beat Elon down in North Carolina earlier this year on February 1st, 59-44. And looking for the season sweep here today on Senior Day.
Yeah, so what you mentioned, all right, it's been some back and forth games the past couple of years, some big time rivalry matchups for these two squads. Defensive battles usually too.
Good drive by Munford, a little bit too strong, and Greenberg clears the glass, and the Dragons really dominating on the boards, out-rebounding Elon 16-5. They've got 6 offensive rebounds and have turned that into 12 second-chance points. That's a really nice job by Drexel.
Oh, yeah, it is. Drexel just dominant on the glass thus far. Elon's had no chance because of that.
Greenberg will spot up, and she drills the deep two. She's now in double figures with 10, showing why she is a CAA Player of the Year candidate.
I mean, she's just so tough to guard. Quick off the dribble, and then she could use that jab step, create space, has a wide open jumper off that.
Only a junior with already over 1,000 career points as a Dragon. Lexi Mercer, way too strong on the drive. That's not really her game. She is a sharpshooter, but right there, missing the layup.
Yeah, had a lane too, and is a lefty, so it's on the side she wants, but just couldn't finish.
Dragons have outscored Elon 9-0 here in the second quarter, and as we mentioned, the Dragons started this game 7-0. So the Dragons have had great starts to both quarters here today, and that's why they are in front by a bunch. No pick and roll is there. Bacon again with the shot clock winding down, sifts through to D, can't get it to go, and a good play by Munford to throw it off of Bacon, and it will be Elon basketball.
Yeah, tough shot for Bacon with the shot clock running down, but as you mentioned, good hustle play by Munford just to deflect that one off Bacon. A smart play on the baseline.
More substitutions for Drexel. Nikki Metzel and Kishana Washington return as Bacon exits along with Aubrey Brown, and Mara Hendrickson, the freshman from Cardinal O'Hara High School, into the game for the first time. And Chris, we've talked about her at length. She was out with an injury after having such a great couple of weeks, as there's a nice backdoor play to Ryan. But you talk about Hendrickson, you would love to see her get her shot back and get back to where she was in the middle of conference play.
Well, Drexel got off to an 0-2 start in conference play, but then when Hendrickson found a rhythm, that's when the Dragons really started to win games. She opens up so much space on the offensive end of the floor because of the distance she could shoot from.
Elon finally in double figures, score for the first time here in the second quarter. Metzel guarded by Lyles. Nihil through the entire Elon team, and I believe we're going to get a blocking foul on the Phoenix. The officials are discussing it right now, And by the way, the officiating crew for this afternoon's contest, Angel Stanton, Star Jefferson, and Mike DeCudo. And it will be a blocking foul on Munford, which will be her second. There you see one of our officials for this game. That was Star Jefferson. Nihil makes the first. One more look here, Chris.
And Nihil just so fearless despite the size disadvantage. Goes through 3 defenders taking the contact, but is willing to put her body on the line for her squad and get to the free throw line.
You look at that play as Cologne returns to the game. I think you could have called that foul on any of 3 Elon players. Kind of made a Nihil sandwich there. Nihil averaging just under 7 points a game, and free throw shooting has been an issue for her. Only at 67%, and she comes away with 1 of 2. She now has 4 as she drilled a 3-pointer in the first quarter. Michaela Ryan will launch a 3, and Mara Hendrickson comes up with the board. Hendrickson, her middle name is Furman, so her teammates lovingly call her Firm.
They call her Firm. I call her the ATM when she gets rolling, automatic 3-point machine.
Would love to see her get her shot here in the second quarter, make a 3-pointer to maybe get herself going. Good defense by Elon, extending on the perimeter, and Kayla Lyles, 5'10 freshman, a really long wingspan on the perimeter. This Elon team, I know they have a lot of growing to do, but they have some really athletic young players.
They do. They've got a lot of promise. It's just that, you have the core of 4 or 5 players not with the program anymore. It's just a matter of gelling, having the time to play with each other and understand the system you're operating in.
Here's Firm for 3, and it's short. Nihil jumps up to pry the rebound free. Maskalk, the pump fake. The layup is no good. Metzel cleans up the trash.
Easy money for Big Country on the inside. Now has 4 boards here today.
28-10. Dragons dominating here today. Great to see after a tough triple overtime loss here at the DAC on Friday night to William & Mary. Maupin over Metzel, a little bit short. And now we'll have a foul on the Phoenix. It will be on Maupin trying to get her own miss. And so far, when we talked about the Metzel-Maupin matchup, Metzel really winning the battle so far.
Metzel's dominating the battle. If you look at what she's done on the glass and how she's played defensively thus far. And Drexel defensively today, very impressive. They've held Elon at 26% shooting, much better than what they did with William & Mary, who shot 55% from the floor on Friday night. This is the adjustment you wanted to see from the Dragons. You knew they could score against Elon, but how would they play defensively?
So far, so good for the Dragons. Hendrickson is left open and hesitated. Didn't realize that she had nobody on her. Washington hits Nio cutting through the lane. The pass was a little bit behind her, and the Dragons turn it over. Popovich with the steal for Elon.
And 3 or 4 weeks ago, I think Hendrickson just catches that and shoots. It's just she's out of rhythm, hasn't played in a little bit, trying to find that rhythm back. But when she does, that's going to be a money 3.
Maskalk coming away with the deflection. And how about Aline Maskalk having herself a ball game?
She's been impressive on the defensive end of the floor. A nice steal there. And she had a block early on, doing it all for the Dragons here tonight.
It was 16-8 at the end of 1. Washington with the drive, and they get a foul on Perpignan. It was a clean block. I would agree with Perpignan there, but did get Washington with the body on the drive. So freshman versus freshman there, and Washington earns 2 at the line.
Yeah, and I think part of why she didn't like it was a little bit late of a call too. That for players, that's always, you think you're not going to get the call and the whistle is blown after. So that's why she was a little bit upset there.
Well, they actually had the foul on Lyles. We'll take a look at this replay and see if Lyles made some contact here. Oh, it was the reach from behind. We saw it right there, and it was a clean block by Perpignan, but they got the reach from behind on Lyles as Keshana Washington 2 for 2. Pretty good free throw shooter this year at 73%. Averages 7 a game, at a career high 21 down in UNC Wilmington. And she earned CAA Rookie of the Week as a result. Cologne with the drive, Washington all over her. Popovich can't get it to go, but she draws the foul on Metzel. That'll be number 2 on Drexel's usual starting center, Nikki Metzel. So she will likely come out of this ballgame.
That was a great job by Popovich, battling Metzel inside to get the positioning. And once she established position in that arc, there was nowhere for Metzel to push her. It was either going to be a shot made or a foul.
Wholesale substitutions again for the Dragons. Returnees are Brown, Ferrariu, and Greenberg, and the freshman from Souderton, Kate Connolly, wearing number 20, into the game for the first time, and Popovich missed both. Bailey Greenberg, we mentioned, over 1,000 points. She now moves into 17th place all-time, just past Rachel Pearson.
Wow.
Who played here during the great WNIT championship run in 2013.
Pearson was a great shooter, very similar to Hendrickson.
Washington, the step through with the shot clock winding down, couldn't quite get it to drop. Here comes Elon back the other way. Powell left wide open. No good. And Ferrari with a good rebound, boxing out the 6'1 Popovich, and then throws it away. Perpignan had it deflected off of, I believe, Brown's foot, but was able to get it back, and now Elon will set up in the half court.
Yeah, just a sloppy pass there in transition to the middle of the floor where the defender was lurking.
Powell, good drive, can't finish. Got her own miss, and she was fouled. So Jalen Powell, another very good young player who we saw play some decent time last year on a senior-laden team, making her presence known today.
Yeah, she's been attacking inside today, which has come at a little bit of a surprise just because of how good of an outside shooter she is. Missed her one three-point look, but the Dragons cannot leave her open from the three-point line.
Powell, 71% from the charity stripe thus far this year, makes the first. Personal foul on Bailey Greenberg. One more look at this one.
As she gets the rebound, goes back up, clear contact from both Ferrari or Greenberg. Could have got either of them with the foul call there.
Yeah, I think Greenberg was trying to reach in and tie her up and create a jump ball. Powell misses the second. Good offensive rebound, Cologne. And she gets the putback. Ariel Cologne, the sophomore from Orlando, gets her first points.
And that's something you never want to see, allowing an offensive rebound on a trip to the free throw line. I know Drexel has a 17-point lead, but Coach Dillon cannot be too happy about that.
Check that. Cologne actually has 4 points, as I forgot she got credit for that tip-in at the end of the quarter that deflected off of what we think was Mariah Leonard. Meanwhile, foul is on Lyles. That's her second. Greenberg will exit. Metzel will enter. And again, it's a time management call right there on the substitutions, as again, Bailey Greenberg played 55 minutes on Friday night. Great inbounds from Brown to Ferrariu as a Romanian Rocket gets her first field goal. She's got 3, the dime from Brown.
Dime from Brown, and that helps the assisting others challenge.
We will let everybody know about that a little bit later. Great program by the Dragons off the court. Popovich against Metzel. Missed it. Metzel has been a beast inside defensively and on the glass.
Yeah, 5 rebounds now for her. Back-to-back great performances from Metzel here this weekend.
Well, she loves playing against William and Mary. She had 18 down in Williamsburg and then a career high 21. Actually, both of those were career highs at the time, as Brown tried to find the cutter, the freshman Connolly, couldn't quite handle it, and Elon comes up with the steal.
And if there's one area specifically today that the Dragons have struggled with, Ari, it's passing. They've made some sloppy passes into the lanes, and they've gotten lucky a couple times, but Elon coming away with some steals now.
Cologne wanted the pick and roll, but Popovich never rolled. Fortunately, no Dragon was there to grab the ball. Bree Perpignan, and an offensive foul moving screen is the call on Anna Popovich.
I didn't get a great look there, but Popovich not too discontent with the call, so seemed to have a guilty look on her face. I'm going to assume they got the call right there.
Denise Dillon calling out what could be the final offensive play of the half for the Dragons. Lexi Mercer returns, and first time we're seeing 6'2 freshman from Istanbul, Turkey, Duru Tasman, wearing number 4 for Elon. Brown, cross court. Connolly thought about it, but Cologne closed out. Connolly with the drive and air ball. And Tasman with the rebound. Shot clock is off. So now Perpignan, the freshman point guard, has it for the Phoenix, and they will likely hold for one here at the end of the first half. But this has been all Drexel here in the first 20 minutes. Perpignan past Metzel, and that's way too easy. Time running out. Ferrariu can't get it off, and that'll do it. So the Dragons lead 32-15, and they are number 1 in the nation in scoring defense and showing you why as we get set for the Independence Blue Cross halftime report. Make security and confidence part of your health plan. Independence Blue Cross is accepted by 95% of doctors and hospitals and has been the region's leading health insurer for 80 years. Get the power of independence at IBX.com. We'll return with more. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
The world will change. Drexel University is designed to change with it. By embracing change as the world moves forward, Drexel is constantly learning and evolving, preparing the next generation of leaders able to anticipate and address the challenges of tomorrow, because the future can't wait.
The month of March is not for the weak. If you want to get to the big dance, the road starts here. Every practice, every game leads to this moment. Win or go home. The CAA tournament is coming to Charleston March 9th through 12th. 10 teams, one goal, to be crowned champion. Go to CAAsports.com for more information.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza, artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
for fast fire perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
Stepping into the unknown, it can be difficult to find the way. But with the compassion and security of Independence Blue Cross, obstacles become openings. As we have for nearly 80 years, we'll continue to light the way, with the card accepted in all 50 states, giving you the power to shine forward to whatever awaits tomorrow. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
Good morning, everyone. Chris McKendry and Bob Stevens with you until college hoops.
TNT basketball analyst Charles Barkley joins us from Las
Vegas. Mia, did you ever think in your country? No way.
You know, I just remember from a little kid always thinking like somebody has to be different. And I knew I was different, from the way I competed to the way I wanted to succeed to the way I drove myself academically. I wanted to change something. I just always felt like somebody has to do it, and I think it's going to be me. I just wanted the best education available to me, and being a tennis player and getting the opportunity to go to a private school like Drexel, that was it. And I knew I would figure out what I was going to do when I was there. But I did always love sports, and I realized I just had a knack for understanding statistics and remembering players and players' names because I just loved it. People want real life experience, and Drexel was light years ahead of its time in knowing what the co-op would do, knowing how it would get people a foot in the door. No one batted an eye that I would just leave campus and go to a TV station and come back for a class later.
Hextall still says the bottom line is a difference of opinion in money. In Voorhees, I'm Chris McKendry.
I think once you let the student into the workforce, the genie's out of the bottle in a great way, because then your education becomes the classroom and the real world. And that's how it has to be in order to succeed now. When I decided I wanted to do on-air work, I thought, I need to learn how to have a big presence and have a strong voice. So I took broadcast speech lessons when I was producing in Washington, and it was that voice coach who called me and said, Chris, I hear the ABC station here in Washington, he's looking for a woman sports anchor. It hasn't been done yet in the city where that is your job. You're not substituting, you're not the reporter filling in, you're a weekend anchor.
Ms. McKendry has a story.
Then the world did change and people were looking for women to talk sports. So ESPN called and I was advised, you go. I was asked to come up to Bristol in that July of 1996 for a week just to get a better understanding of how they put together sports centers. It was meeting some really big personalities. You know, that was quite the golden era of ESPN. So we got towards the end of the week. Kenny Mayne was supposed to anchor a weekend show and had an emergency. So they asked me if I wanted to do the show, and that was late July of 96. I said, okay, I'll do the show. And that night, the Atlanta Olympic Park bombing went off.
Oh my God! What the hell was that?
It became a news story. It wasn't a sports story. I was out there, you know, anchoring a major breaking news story, making sure I didn't do anything that would journalistically put ESPN in trouble. You know, the audience decides very quickly if they're going to like you or not, and that was my one big shot. So I just sat down and just started anchoring and just, you know, really had the feeling of, you know, I do belong here now. Afterwards, when the lights came on, they told me, you're an anchor. You're a SportsCenter anchor as of now. And it's something I learned playing sports growing up. I learned at Drexel, trying to juggle work, co-op, TV station, sport, school, is I really believe I can outwork anybody. And I'm not afraid to outwork anybody, and it's the only thing you can control at the end of the day. Students who go to Drexel are going with the intention of, when I come out, I am going to be skilled and I'm getting a job. Who knows how the world's going to unfold? That happened for me. You know, suddenly I had a passion, I worked hard, I looked for little openings here and there, just little cracks. And the next thing you know, huge doors have opened now, and women were wanted all over sports. And the world fell in line with me. And wherever your ambition lies, like, follow it, you know, follow it and let the world catch up.
This staircase has been here for over 120 years. Every morning, I look at those stairs and think about all they've seen. Drexel granted its first graduate degree in 1927. Since then, countless future CEOs, astronauts, researchers, and industry leaders have made their way up and down these stairs. Our founder, Anthony Drexel, was someone who always looked towards the future. He founded a university for both men and women from all backgrounds to educate the leaders who will shape history. Being based in Philadelphia has presented us with a unique benefit. Our cooperative education program has allowed us to build a professional network that reaches every corner of the globe. Integrating experience into learning is just one of the ways Drexel has transformed the education process. This was the first university to require that all students have computers, the first to have a fully wireless campus. They even invented the barcode here. But it's not just about what we've done. Right now, with over 120 graduate programs, our academics touch almost every aspect of the professional world. And Drexel offers access that our founder could only dream of. An education that truly fits every student's schedule. These halls continue to witness amazing breakthroughs with real-world impact. Autism treatments, nanotechnology, mobile applications that actually harness the power of music. Here, students learn how to apply their knowledge from expert faculty. We're building the next generation of leaders in professions that push us forward. These stairs are not just a path to classrooms and offices, they're pathways to the future.
Speed, power. This trophy is not given, it must be earned. The NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships. May 25th through 27th at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia.
In the stick, boom, on the money, cradle and a pass.
Win the first championship!
Visit ncaa.com/lacrosse to get your tickets today.
Back at the DAC here in Philly, and the Dragons have dominated here on Senior Day over the Elon Phoenix. And Chris, it's not only been their day, but they've really contributed on the floor. Eileen Maskalk at Tereza KRACIKOVA.
Yes, they have, both with steals early on in the game and blocks. And then on the offensive end of the floor, Eileen with a big three with the defender's hand in her face right there on your screen. Tess with a putback right here on the drive from Nihil. Both contributing offensively and defensively. Nikki Menzel, by the way, we mentioned her at the top of the hour. She had some putbacks, some rebounds, doing it well today. And then Eileen with a big steal here. The seniors showing up, hitting shots, making defensive plays.
Yeah, now for Elon, they didn't have a lot of offense here. This is a nice play on a nice find for Ryan, and then another nice find by Munford over to Lyles. But Elon just not shooting the ball well, 7 of 24 for only 31%. As we take a look at the first half stats, the Dragons have really dominated in this game, and Drexel shooting 46% from the floor. And the big stat for me, Chris, 8 offensive rebounds, 14 second chance points. That's a big reason why the Dragons are in front.
8 offensive rebounds. Elon has 11 total as a team. Drexel with 24 boards total. They've dominated the glass. And then defensively, as you mentioned, Elon just shooting 29% from the floor. Drexel back to playing like the best defense in the nation.
Individually, Bailey Greenberg leads all scorers with 10. For Elon, Ariel Colon has 4 off the bench. One of those buckets was deflected by a Drexel player, so that tells you how it's gone for the Elon Phoenix. Now it's time for the Hahnemann University Hospital out-of-town scoreboard. At Hahnemann University Hospital, quality patient care is their #1 priority. Hahnemann provides quality care in specialties, including orthopedics, heart, cancer, minimally invasive surgery, primary care, and more. Offering advanced medical technologies and treatments, Hahnemann University Hospital is here to heal. For more information on quality care, visit HahnemannHospital.com. Well, we had a couple of games that started at 1 o'clock. Northeastern defeated Charleston 81-69. UNCW, they are going to win their game over Hofstra 61-47. At the half, William & Mary leads Delaware 26-22. And this is the game to watch. At the half, JMU leads Towson 28-26. And that game's important because if Towson beats JMU, giving them their second conference loss, the Dragons hold on for the win today and beat both JMU and Towson on the road next week. The Dragons can get the 1 seed through tiebreak.
Yeah, it's huge, Ari. I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because both those teams are hard to be on the road, but the Dragons have a shot if Towson can win today.
We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we will get you set for third quarter action here in Philadelphia. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The world will change. Drexel University is designed to change with it. By embracing change as the world moves forward, Drexel is constantly learning and evolving. Preparing the next generation of leaders able to anticipate and address the challenges of tomorrow. Because the future can't wait.
Okay, we're going to keep this quick.
Because at Blaze Pizza, artisanal quality at crazy fast speed is what we're all about.
Fresh dough made from scratch daily.
Walk the line and choose any toppings you'd like.
It's all one price.
Then it's just 180 seconds in our blazing hot oven
for fast fire perfection.
That's Blaze Pizza. Sound good?
Then come check us out and build your own pizza at Blaze Pizza.
Drexel Athletics would like to thank the following partners for their support of the Dragons: Landmark Americana, Ed's Buffalo Wings and Pizza, Sheraton University City, AdMark 360, and Campus Close. Alongside Chris Markowitz, I'm Ari Bluestein. The Drexel Dragons lead the Elon Phoenix 32-15. And, you know, I usually say, what can the adjustments be made? And I think if the Dragons just do what they did in the first half, I think they'll be just fine.
I think they will too. My only criticism, I said it in the first half, Ari, just a little bit sloppy with passes and points. If they can clean that up, they'll play a perfect game.
Elon will have the ball to start the third quarter, and the Dragons sticking with today's starting five with Aline Maskalk and Tereza KRACIKOVA in to start the third quarter. Elon only scored 15 points in that first half, 8 in the first, 7 in the second, and a turnover right there. And they haven't turned the ball over a ton. That's only their 8th turnover, which is not a little, but it's not a lot. But they've only shot 29% from the floor.
That's what's killed them. And that right there, just a miscommunication between Mercer and Maupin. Maupin was trying to clear space with Greenberg on her back, and Mercer just threw the pass at a different location.
Dragons' first possession of the second half. Bree Perpignan all over Aubrey Brown. Maskalk, top of the key. Hits the cutter, 2 of them, Greenberg and Brown. Maskalk at the buzzer, off the glass and good. Well, it's senior day, and sometimes you get a little bit of luck on senior day.
And there she is shaking her head on the other end of the floor. Why not just fire it up and shoot it? It's going to go down.
Eileen with 6, connecting on 2 3-pointers. Good defense by Greenberg on the Nance drive, and it wasn't that close, only got the backboard. By the way, Eileen's season high is 8 the first game of the year against Quinnipiac. Her career high 12 against Penn State in 2017. Brown finds Eileen, but it got deflected off of an Elon Phoenix player, so it will remain Drexel ball with only 4 to shoot.
Yeah, that's a tough pass there by Brown. Kind of forced it into a congested area. Fortunate enough, though, that it dribbles off of Elon.
Elon substitution, Sadia Munford back in. Brown will be the inbounder. Greenberg in the post, over Munford, and she exploits the mismatch, drops it in, she's got 12.
Yeah, good job there by Greenberg posting up, but Eileen Maskalk used herself as a decoy to clear space for Greenberg.
22-point advantage for the Dragons, their largest lead, and KRACIKOVA getting a piece of that one, coming up with a block, and Munford with the tie-up, but the possession arrow in favor of Drexel. But how about the play of the seniors, Tereza KRACIKOVA and Aline Maskalk, both doing what we know they're capable of, but not always putting it together on the floor.
Yeah, E from 3 today, and then Tess with 2 blocks. Came into today as the career leader actively for Dragons in blocks, so she's doing what we've seen her do throughout her career.
Yeah, Tess has had some good games during her Drexel career, and it's usually against the big teams. I think South Florida and Syracuse over the years might have been her 2 best games.
Penn State as well. I think her sophomore year, she played very well defensively, had some couple nice buckets in that game.
Yeah, with a couple of blocks today, she's at 46 in her career. Shot clock winding down for the Dragons. Brown's going to have to throw it up. Nyhill tracks down the offensive rebound, keeps her dribble as she falls to the deck.
She slid across the floor for a couple seconds and dribbled.
Put her on an and one mixtape. Maskalk over to Brown. Elon definitely tightening things up on defense here in the third. KRACIKOVA the step through to Nyhill for the corner 3.
Okay, Tess running the offense now, playing a little point guard there. Great kick out, and Nyhill the open 3.
I wish it was senior day every day the way they're playing. My goodness. Eileen and Tess stealing the show, and the Dragons up by 25. Perpignan. Nyhill strips her. And I don't think Powell's going to catch up to Nyhill, who lays it up and in.
And Hannah Nyhill quietly having a big game here today for the Dragons. They're going to need her on the offensive end of the floor to be productive in the CAA tournament if they want to make a run at things, Ari.
Yeah, Nyhill, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Maskalk, a good block, but did get her with the body And that will put Jalen Powell to the line for 2. And the way the Dragons have started all 3 of these quarters has been phenomenal. 7-0 in the first, 8-0 in the second, and now 10-0 in the third.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do, Ari. You want to come out of the break strong, execute on the principles you focused on, and that's what they've done for all 3 of these quarters. As we're going to see here on the drive again, Eileen nearly gets the position, but I think there's some contact there with the elbows, and that's a good foul call there by the referee.
Line change for the Dragons. Washington, Bacon, Hendrickson, along with Metzel and Leonard, into the game for Drexel. And all 5 previously on the floor are out. And again, a reminder to our viewers, Dragons went into triple OT here on Friday night with Bailey Greenberg, Aubrey Brown, and Hannah Nihill all playing over 50 minutes, and Greenberg played the entire 55.
And that's why the contributions from the seniors are so important. If they're playing well, you give other key players a chance to sit.
10 to shoot. Metzel gets the entry pass. Good defense by Popovich. She'll get it back. Step back. Drills it. Nikki Metzel, 6 points and 5 rebounds and only 10 minutes of action.
That's a tough shot for a big Ari, but it's a shot she's capable of hitting, and in the last couple games, she's really taken those more and more often.
The Dragons will need her to do those things in the CAA tournament if they are going to compete for a championship, as Mercer, on her first 3-point attempt, is off the mark. Mercer has hoisted over 100 threes. Hendrickson, a good shooter. That one's short. You know what, though, Chris? I'm looking at Hendrickson's shots, comparing it to the last few games. It looks like she's got her legs under her. She's just a little bit short on both attempts.
She is, but she's got good rotation on the ball, Ari. I think that's the key to focus on. Good rotation on the ball, and like you mentioned, just a little short, but that's going to come with time.
By the end of this game, Chris, I want to see her make 1 3 to get her going.
I couldn't agree more.
Good layup by Lexi Mercer, her first points. She averages 9 a game, but has been held scoreless to this point. Dragons still up big. The entry pass. Leonard couldn't get the hook shot to go. Around the rim and out.
Yeah, tough shot there for Leonard. Some good help defense by Elon to make that one a really difficult shot in the lane.
Munford the pick and roll, and we will have a foul, and it will be a reach in on Keishana Washington. That will be Drexel's second team foul here in the third, but the Dragons continuing to roll here on Senior Day. 4:45 to play here in the third, and Hannah Nihill doing what she does best, turning defense into offense. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philly Plus.
Drexel is the modern American research university. We do translational research, we do cooperative education, we do urban extension. The place is just bursting with opportunity, and as a result, it's a very, very special place full of great people who are doing amazing, amazing things.
The ethos of Drexel, to learn by doing, is really 100% compatible with what a comprehensive research university is and has to be. That experiential learning is essential and really differentiates our students from the pack.
Research is really just about discovering new things, trying to create knowledge, insight, innovation in all forms. We bring together students, faculty, and staff from across the university to pursue highly multidisciplinary projects. So that can be music and engineering, that can be robotics and dance performance, that can be material science and fashion design.
The things that have happened here and the speed at which they've happened is a tribute to a community that will never rest on its laurels.
Everything that I'm doing now is trying to make the world a better place. My mission is to change the world, but I'm going to do it 1 student at a time, 1 innovation at a time, 1 class at a time. Every interaction, I want to make a difference in this world, and it's wonderful to be able to do that here at Drexel University.
The month of March is not for the weak. If you want to get to the big dance, the road starts here. Every practice, every game leads to this moment. Win or go home. The CAA tournament is coming to Charleston March 9th through 12th. 10 teams, 1 goal, to be crowned champion. Go to CAAsports.com for more information.
Home is more than a place. It's a feeling. It's pushing yourself to the top of the hill before your morning commute. It's the lure of your secret fishing spot. It's having a big team meeting after a day at the office. At Independence Blue Cross, we know the feeling because your hometown is our hometown too. For nearly 80 years, Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
The company that's been here for 80 years, the card that's accepted by the most doctors and hospitals in the region, Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Alongside Chris Markowitz, I'm Ari Bluestein. You take a look at the head-to-head stats, and this is on the season. You can see the scoring defense. Drexel 49 a game, leads the country. Elon at 69 a game. That's second to last in the entire conference, and that's why the Dragons, who normally don't score a lot of points, have already put up 44 midway through the third.
Yeah, they have. Drexel executing well offensively, moving the ball well, and getting a balanced scoring attack here today. They've done it with some good outside shots and have attacked well inside the paint.
Good bucket on the putback by Anna Popovich. That's her first two of the game. Dragons still well in front here in this one. And as you mentioned, Chris, the Dragons able to use a deep rotation. Everybody has played, and some decent minutes as well, even Kate Connolly. And that's good for the Dragons, who played a lot of minutes on Friday night.
Yeah, you get a chance to rest, and it's a little bit shorter for a week. You're playing January on a Thursday instead of a Friday.
Absolutely true. Bacon holds the pivot foot somehow. Hendrickson at the buzzer, and it's not close, but we won't count that one as whether the shot's looking good or not. She just had to throw it up. So Elon has done a good job, I think, adjusting defensively. They've done a great job. They're now bodying up on the perimeter, really closing the paint a little bit. And credit head coach Charlotte Smith and her coaching staff for making some adjustments despite being down big.
Yeah, they've made some adjustments. They've made life difficult for Drexel in the second half. They're not giving up yet, and that's the caliber of a championship team like Elon.
And Cologne throws it away. 10th turnover for the Phoenix. Dragons have gone a little cold here over the last couple of minutes. But again, despite that, up big here on Senior Day. Dragons will hit the road for their final two, as Chris just mentioned. JMU on Thursday, Towson on Saturday. The number 1 and number 3 seeds as it stands today. So not an easy road trip for the Dragons upcoming. Leonard drives the baseline, tried to pass it to Bacon, but a good job by Munford to knock it away.
Yeah, I like that idea there by Leonard trying to make that pass to Bacon, but just took a second too late to deliver it. Otherwise, Bacon has an open layup.
Mercer out, Powell in for the Phoenix. 7 to shoot for Drexel. The lob out to Washington. Metzel to Hendrickson, corner 3, bang!
There it is.
There it is. There's the firm fire we like to see.
The ATM automatic three-point machine. That might have been her toughest one thus far, except for the one at the buzzer a few moments ago, but in rhythm from deep with the defender in her face.
And that could be the one to get her going for the last 2 games on the road and going into the CAA tournament, as she gets the rebound off the Popovich miss. Bacon will hold it up, seeing Popovich right there inside the lane. Hendrickson, open, got it again.
There it is. Now she's rolling, and Fuego, Ari.
Firm fire is back at the DAC. I'm loving it, Chris Markowitz.
And all it takes is one to go down, changes everything.
Dragons up 29. Back-to-back threes from Hendrickson. Munford, a really nice step through, and Leonard, who's an offensive foul machine, trying to draw the charge. And she draws the block that time on a good move by Munford. And I was joking with Mariah before the game because she was limited in minutes on Friday night because she was ill during the week. Feeling better today, I said, you have to make up for it. Took 5 charges today, trying to take the first there. As Munford at the line for 2, makes the first, an 82% free throw shooter. And Maupin and Nance back into the game.
I'll tell you what, the way she's played this year, 5 charges isn't even out of the realm of possibility for a player like Leonard. There she almost had one. She just overcommitted a step or 2 to the left. That's why it was a blocking foul.
Munford makes 2. No Elon player has more than 5 points. Jalen Powell has 5 off the bench. Emily Maupin, their leading scorer, only has 2 points at 16 minutes, and credit Metzel and KRACIKOVA for really shutting her down.
They've shut her down, and you got to give the coaching staff credit as well. I'm sure that they've game planned for that, knowing she's their leading threat, and they've taken her away here today.
Washington left open, will try a three, no good. Leonard, the offensive rebound, missed the putback. Leonard, one of 3 Dragons who have yet to score. The others, Aubrey Brown, surprisingly, and then Kate Connolly, who only played 3 minutes. Powell, a good look from 3. That's an air ball. Surprising. Powell, a 44% three-point shooter.
Yeah, left wide open there. You're not going to see that too many times from a shooter who's got a stroke like she does.
Maskalk, Ferrariu, and Nihil return. Washington, Metzel, Hendrickson, and Leonard out. Oh, and Greenberg also returning for the Dragons. Kayla Bacon, the lone Dragon remaining in the game. So again, a lot of substitutions today for a tired Dragons team, and as you mentioned, Chris, a short week coming up.
Yeah, what's key is a lot of these starters haven't even played more than 15 or 16 minutes deep into the third quarter.
I think we will have a holding foul on Munford. She doesn't like the call, but I think she held Nihil cutting through the lane. Number 3 on Sadia Munford. And it's been a tough year for Munford, as you see Perpignan back into the game. She was a key contributor to last year's CAA championship team, but now probably asked to take on a lot as a sophomore, and maybe she just hasn't been able to adjust.
Oh, you lose so many key players, and you're just so used to having those teammates around you who can get you into open spots. You have to take over now with 5 key players gone. That's just a tall order.
Maskalk, the drive, trying to look for Greenberg, and it's stolen away. Yeah, the pickup on that point, she was in a backcourt with Shea Burnett, the CAA Player of the Year, and Jada Graves, the CAA Defensive Player of the Year. Graves will be back next year. She was out with an injury, got injured in that first game against North Carolina this season, as there was a nice drive by Perpignan. She averages just about 9. She's got 4 today.
And then they lost Johnson and White in the front court as well.
Right, yeah, Johnson to graduation, White transferred to Middle Tennessee State. So yeah, this is definitely a rebuild year for Elon, but again, Charlotte Smith, she knows what she's doing. Great player, great coach. They'll be back in the mix, I believe, as soon as next year.
Yeah, I do as well. This is too good of a coaching staff and a program for them not to come back with a vengeance.
Aubrey Brown in, Bacon out, that last foul was called on, oh no, check that. Yes, it was on Perpignan, Bree Perpignan. So only about a 5-second difference between the game clock and shot clock as Greenberg puts up a shot that is blocked. Good defense by the Phoenix. Game clock and shot clock only a second apart, so Elon can hold for 1 if they choose. Here's Bree Perpignan, standout freshman from Alexandria, Virginia. Now she's on the move with 5 to shoot. Cologne with 1 to shoot, missed it, and that'll do it. So the Dragons with another strong quarter, and look who came to play. Maura Hendrickson knocking down a couple of threes, and maybe she has found her touch coming off that injury. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
This is it. This is the time of year when everything is on the line. There's no we'll get them next time. It's win or go home. March Madness is just around the corner. The CAA Women's Basketball Tournament is coming to the University of Delaware March 13th to the 16th. 10 teams, 1 goal, to be crowned champion. Go to CAAsports.com for more information.
3, 2, 1.
The world will change. Drexel University is designed to change with it. By embracing change as the world moves forward, Drexel is constantly learning and evolving, preparing the next generation of leaders able to anticipate and address the challenges of tomorrow, because the future can't wait.
Living at an American campus community has really made me confident in myself.
I can be an all-around better student.
It's a place where I can be successful.
I can focus on school instead of just where I live.
There's so much in one package.
They really value their residents here.
I know that I can succeed here.
And I don't think I could say that if I were living elsewhere.
It really gave me a lot more than just a place to live.
And that's what American Campus has done for me.
Sheridan University City is your home away from home while you are in Philadelphia. For the next home game, a special visit for your family, or for your next meeting, think about allowing Sheridan University City to become a part of your community. Visit PhiladelphiaSheraton.com for more information. Well, you take a look at the last 5 games, and again, both teams going in opposite directions here. Elon lost 4 coming into this game. The Dragons had won 4 of 5, losing in triple OT on Friday night. But again, just a minor setback for the Dragons in what we hope could be a good run coming up here in March.
Yeah, you mentioned 4 of 5. They were on a 13-game winning streak. So Drexel was really on a roll. But like you mentioned, Ari, here today, this win, if they're able to hold on, will right the ship, and they'll have a tough trip ahead with Towson and JMU on the road. But they need that momentum going into it.
Good find by Brown, but Nihill unable to knock down the 18-footer from the baseline. But again, the Dragons still up big, and Drexel looks like they'll finish at the 2 spot. Could go to 1, could go to 3. Probably not much lower than that after a win today, especially. Perpignan puts on the brakes and drops it in. And Brie Perpignan, again, one of these good young players that Elon has a lot of potential for this Phoenix team.
Yeah, she showed up today. She's made some nice plays, all right. I see a lot of potential in there, not just as a distributor, but she's gotten her own shot a couple times here tonight.
We take a look at the Elon roster. Perpignan, Lyles, Tasman, who we saw a little bit of, a freshman. We have a foul here. Sophomores are Maupin, Powell, Cologne, Popovich, Munford. There's no seniors on this Elon team. And the juniors they have are Lexi Mercer, and then Jada Graves, who is out for the year after getting hurt in the first game. And there's Tasman, one of the freshmen who just came into the game for Elon. This is a young team. They're going to grow together. And they, it's a tough year, but the Dragons continuing to dominate today. Bailey Greenberg now with a game-high 14.
Well, the scary thing, though, Ari, is you mentioned how young Elon is. Not that Drexel's that young, but Mascalk and Tess will be gone after the season. But we're returning all your starters if you're Drexel and most of your key players. So what they're going to be next year, that's crazy to think about.
The entire regular starting 5 will be back. A lot of the key contributors will be back as well. Nihill, good hustle on the deck again. What a surprise. Chris, I got to tell Nihill to grab a second knee pad. Here we go. Nihill, gotta love it. Dragons up big. She's still diving after the loose ball.
It's funny. Michelle Baker, the assistant coach, saw me the other day, and I had a scab on my knee. I was playing an intramural sport. Scuffed it up. She asked me, where'd you get that from? I was like, I'm just pulling my best Hannah Nihill impersonation here.
Ain't that the truth? Ariel Cologne with a nice drive. Again, another one of those good young players. And you think about it again, with Elon having all the youth, Jada Graves is going to be the leader on this team next year. With her back in the lineup, that's going to be scary. As Greenberg off a nice pass gets fouled and she'll go to the line.
Yeah, Graves, a talented player offensively for the Phoenix last season. And like you mentioned, they're getting her back from injury, so they'll add that. And then who knows what freshman class they have coming in. They are back-to-back CAA reigning champion, so that probably has attracted some quality players.
Bailey Greenberg makes the first. We'll take one more look here, Chris, and again, a great find. This is just Drexel offense at its best.
And Greenberg doing a great job of beating the defender to the spot, using her body to create the contact and getting to the charity stripe.
You know, I remember after Elon defeated Drexel last year for the CAA title here at the DAC, as the Dragons were the host for the tournament. I remember Charlotte Smith saying that players like Shea Burnett and Malaya Johnson, they were the two players that are program-changing players. And that's what they've done. And Hannah Nihill hits the deck again, and they call an offensive foul on Sadia Munford. That is her fourth. Didn't like the call, but, you know, we've seen that time and time again from Hannah Nihill.
Yes, we have. Can't harp on it enough how scrappy of a player she is, both offensively and defensively. And Munford doesn't like the call, but I think she clearly lowered the shoulder there.
Well, and she also extended the arm. You saw that as Aline Moskalk knocks down her third three of the game. She's got a season-high 9 here on Senior Day with her mom in attendance.
E3 phone home, long distance working for her here today. Had to drop that reference, Ari. I know you're laughing, but that's a great three-point shot for Moskalk.
Tasman on the inside drops it in. Chris Markowitz, you are a unique individual.
Hey, man, just got to reach into the bag of tricks sometimes.
Dragons remain up big. And Moskalk having herself her best game of the year. Ferrariu the drive, can't get it to drop. Rebound by freshman Michaela Ryan. Munford remains in the game with 4 fouls. Cologne will launch a 3, and Ferrariu skying for the rebound. That is rebound number 5 for Anna. Nihill for Greenberg, under control, she's got 18.
Yeah, Greenberg 18 points in just 20 minutes. I mean, that's her season average, and she gets it in playing half a game. Unbelievable.
Dragons started this game leading 7-0, and they have not looked back. In the inside, Duru Tasman, the freshman from Turkey, drops it in. She now has 4.
That's a strong take by Tasman. That's what you call getting in the weight room, just using the body, using her strength to muscle it in for 2.
Tasman came into this game 1 of 8 from the floor on the year, so already with double the amount of field goals today that she had the entire season. Elon gets the steal. Munford fouled hard by Moskalk. And she's on the floor, but she looks to be okay. And, you know, it's funny, Sadia Munford and Hannah Nihill have been going back and forth, but Munford is kind of like Elon's version of Hannah Nihill.
Yes, she is a tough guard who's willing to take the hits, both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. She knows with a drive like that Moskalk is just going to clobber her, but she's still willing to take the attempt and get to the line.
There you see Charlotte Smith. It's got to be frustrating for her this year, but again, so many setbacks this season. They knew going into this year that you lose all those great players to graduation. We mentioned Burnett, Johnson, and Garner. And then when you lose Rashika White, who was, I believe, their second leading scorer last year.
Yes.
6'4" center.
Off the bench, played half a game on average, and she was the second leading scorer.
She definitely would have started this year for the team. And then Jada Graves, your best player, goes down in your first game of the year. Line changes for the Dragons. KRACIKOVA, Washington, Bacon, Hendrickson, and Metzel all in. Greenberg, Moskalk, Ferrariu, Nihill, and Brown to the bench. Likely that's the last we've seen of those players, maybe except for Eileen. And Eileen clapping it up a little bit. And the Dragons fans showing her the love. And I love E. She's such a great person. And, you know, she's had some moments here as a Dragon, but just has not been able to really have been a consistent contributor. But got to feel good for her. 9 points on Senior Day.
Just one of my favorite people to talk to. Just a very outgoing person. And she, like you mentioned, Ari, she's had her moments. Some big games, some big three-pointers throughout her career. And nice to see her hitting some shots here today.
Here's the other senior, KRACIKOVA, across the lane.
Taking the defense to school. Tess driving through the lane. Take him to the weight room, Tess. Use the body, finish for 2.
This has been fun. Obviously, anytime the Dragons are up big, it's a lot of fun. But to see the 2 seniors contribute, Hendrickson get going on a couple of threes, that's what's really made it a lot of fun today. Loose ball here, Elon able to keep it. And that will go way over the head of 6'1" forward Michaela Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know if Alshon Jeffrey's coming down with that one either.
By the way, KRACIKOVA with 4, season high is 7, which she had against Manhattan in their holiday tournament back in early December. Push foul on Tasman. Well, this game, no doubt on who's going to win this one at this point, but good game, which we'll talk about after the break between JMU and Towson. And again, the Dragons remain dominant over the Elon Phoenix. 4:48 to play. Drexel on their way to a win here on Senior Day. You're watching Drexel basketball from Learfield IMG College here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
Home is more than a place. It's a feeling. It's pushing yourself to the top of the hill before your morning commute. It's the lure of your secret fishing spot. It's having a big team meeting after a day at the office. At Independence Blue Cross, we know the feeling because your hometown is our hometown too. For nearly 80 years, Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless.
This is it. This is the time of year when everything is on the line. There's no we'll get them next time. It's win or go home. March Madness is just around the corner. The CAA Women's Basketball Tournament is coming to the University of Delaware March 13th to the 16th. 10 teams, one goal, to be crowned champion. Go to caasports.com for more information.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The world will change. Drexel University is designed to change with it. By embracing change as the world moves forward, Drexel is constantly learning and evolving. Preparing the next generation of leaders able to anticipate and address the challenges of tomorrow. Because the future can't wait.
What does it mean to be a CAA student athlete? It's passion, commitment, accountability, preparing for the real world, discipline on the court and in the classroom. CAA Hoops. It's only for those who want it most.
Landmark Americana Tap and Grill is conveniently located on the corner of 34th and Market inside the Drexel Recreation Center. Be sure to stop in before or after every home game and save 10% with your ticket stub. Well, the Dragons up big, but a good game down in Towson, Maryland. JMU leads the Tigers 47-43. Towson was up in the third quarter, but JMU made a nice run to take the lead, and that game has a lot of effect on the standings as there's a nice find and Nikki Metzel drops into. Should Towson come back and win that game, that creates an opportunity for the Dragons to get up to the 1 seed if they can take down both JMU and Towson next week.
Yeah, it's a tall order, but Drexel's giving themselves a chance here today as they're moments away from closing out a victory at the DAC. They just need some help from Towson.
Bacon, a great play by Perpignan, and comes away with her own block and is able to get it to a teammate as well. That's a nice play.
Yeah, I'm impressed with how she kept her footwork as well.
And a strong drive, draws the foul on KRACIKOVA. And again, Perpignan, another one of those really good young players for Elon, showing some flashes here today.
Yeah, what was impressive about the block was she gets the block, then she comes down with the rebound and is able to keep her feet in bounds, doesn't turn it over, and then gets in transition and gets to the free throw line.
Perpignan makes the first. One more look here at this drive by the freshman from Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah, just a strong drive. Gets tripped up by Kayla Bacon. That's what the call was. Trip to the line. She's got a nice stroke there.
You know, you think about this Elon team and their Achilles heel has been defense this year. Well, when you miss the CAA Defensive Player of the Year. That's going to happen. They give up 69 a game, which is second to last in the conference. And the Dragons, who don't score a lot of points, but Hendrickson feeling it. Third three, and Firm is back, people.
3 threes in a row now. The ATM automatic three-point machine is back at the deck.
Again, you take a lot out of today's game as Perpignan drives. That might be, for me, the biggest takeaway. That could be huge down the stretch.
I agree. She changes the way this offense works for the Dragons. She opens up space in the middle of the floor for Greenberg and Metzel to operate.
9 points, 3 of 6 shooting from beyond the arc in 10 minutes of action. Some substitutions for Drexel. Eileen Maskalk back in. Aubrey Brown back in, and Kate Connolly, the freshman, getting a little more run here at the end of the fourth. Metzel, Washington, and Hendrickson coming out. Got to feel good for Firm, knocking down a few threes.
Back in rhythm, looking good. Could be a weapon come tournament time. He's open.
Missed it. Her first miss from beyond the arc today. She had been 3 of 3. Good hustle by Bacon, possession arrow in favor of the Dragons.
Yeah, and I think if he was able to knock that one down, the bench would have lost it. Her 4th three tonight would have been nice to see go down.
And that would have tied a career high. She had 12 against Penn State. That was back in November of 17. Brown, a quick find to Maskalk, but good defense by Tasman. Aubrey Brown for 3. Off the mark, and ironically, Brown scoreless today, but when you look at what Aubrey Brown does, as there's a foul on the Dragons, it'll go back the other way. It'll be on Connolly. Aubrey Brown doesn't have to score to be effective for the Dragons offense. 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 22 minutes of action. She's, again, like Drexel's Ben Simmons. We've said it before, where she doesn't have to score or shoot the ball to really be a facilitator and help this Drexel offense.
She does not, especially when you have shooters who can make some shots from the perimeter when Nikki Metzel's rolling. All they need her to do is distribute and get players open looks.
KRACIKOVA with the hustle behind the back.
Wow.
Aubrey Brown.
Wow.
Break out the highlight reel.
I want to see that on replay. Man.
Brown got suffocated. One more for KRACIKOVA.
Let's take a look. I didn't have the best angle to see this one. I was cut off by the bleachers, but great hustle play. Oh, not even looking. How do you do that?
She was looking down at the sideline to make sure she wasn't out, and then went behind the back like it was nothing.
And then the facial expression afterwards. Nothing. Just like it's another day playing basketball for Tess.
Tess's mom and little brother in the crowd today. We saw them during senior day ceremonies, which you were a part of, Chris, as well as a senior. You know, you've been a manager and a part of Dragons TV for your entire Drexel career, and it's, I'm sure that was great. Your family in attendance as well.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a great honor. I mean, this is a great program, Ari. Not just what they do on the court, but players like Meg Creighton, Kelsey Lidge, having a chance to see what they do for the community. It's really inspired me in my time here with the Dragons.
Dragons up 31 and 1 on the play by Lyles and the foul by Kate Connolly. And Kate Connolly is going to be a good player, I think, for Drexel. She's just got to get a little more game experience here. You talk about a player, 6'1", freshman, really a small forward at 6'1". She can really shoot the 3. And here's the ceremonial exit for the seniors. Eileen Maskalk and Tereza KRACIKOVA come out to a standing ovation here at the DAC. What a moment. What a game for them. There they are. E is going to finish with 9. KRACIKOVA finishing with 4, 6 rebounds, and a couple of blocks and a highlight reel pass.
Yeah, they left it out on the floor here today, Ari. Both of them played well. Nice to see in their final career game at the DAC.
Good find for Leonard, and she's fouled. And Leonard remains one of 3 Dragons. Actually, check that, one of 2 Dragons now, as Brown made a couple of free throws. Do not yet get in the scoring column. And Mariah Leonard coming back from an illness, she really gives so much off the bench. Her and Hendrickson have been the game changers for the Dragons during the win streak that just ended on Friday night.
Well, Hendrickson opens up the floor on the offensive end of the ball, but what Leonard does is, for Greenberg and for Metzel, if they need to take a break, she can come in and make plays defensively. She takes charges, gets rebounds on the offensive end of the floor. She does the hustle little things and is a great sub for the Dragons.
Unfortunately for Leonard, misses both free throws, so she remains scoreless. We've talked at length about managing the playing time. Bailey Greenberg, only 20 minutes today, sitting on the edge of the bench, and relaxing, and that's got to be great. I mean, 18 points in 20 minutes for Bailey today.
It sneaks up on you sometimes with Bailey because she's so efficient. 7 of 10 shooting from the floor. She's above 50% from the floor in conference play. And all right, I was talking to you during one of the breaks. Bailey Greenberg for CAA Player of the Year. She's got my vote.
Well, we are a little bit biased, but she's won Player of the Week 4 times, more than anybody else. Connolly spots up for 3 off the back rim. Leonard fighting for the rebound, and we'll have a jump ball possession arrow in favor of Elon. Gotta love the hustle of Leonard and Bacon, as Keishana Washington will come into the lineup. She'll come in for Aubrey Brown, as that puts all the starters and seniors on the bench for Drexel. So coming up for the Dragons, they take on JMU and Towson on the road. And a quick update on that, JMU up 7, 55-48 with 90 seconds to play. So it looks like JMU might hold on for that victory as Elon with a turnover. But the Dragons, they still have 1 win streak alive, and that's their 14-game road winning streak, and it will be put to the test next week.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to want to avenge their CAA opening loss to Towson. That left a bad taste in their mouth already. They hadn't lost to the DAC in a regular season game in so long. They lost their first one here in their CAA regular season to Towson, so they'll have a chance to avenge that loss on Saturday.
Ferrari with the personal. Both teams now over the limit here in the 4th, so we'll take the long walk. It'll be Michaela Ryan at the line for 2. 9 of 15 from the free throw line in a rookie campaign. 6'1", out of Clarence Center, New York. Went to Buffalo Academy of the Sacred Heart. She'll have 1 more. And the Dragons giving up about 49 points a game. Looks like they'll keep Elon under that total with under a minute to go. Number 1 scoring defense in the country. And you think about that game against JMU, they're number 3 in scoring defense in the country. So that's going to be probably a low-scoring game, is my guess.
It's always fun, too, at JMU, a raucous environment down there. It's going to be a fun crowd, Ari. I'm sure you're excited to get to go down there.
I am. That's probably the best environment to play in the CAA. They really draw at the JMU Convocation Center down in Harrisonburg. It should be a lot of fun. Perpignan, good find. Tasman having herself a game. She scored 2 points the entire season, and she's got 6 today on a perfect 3 of 3 shooting. And it looks like the Dragons will just dribble it out, and it will be win number 21 on the year, as we have the thank you seniors chant, and they were the stars of the show today. And Drexel hopefully starts a new winning streak as the Streamers fly at the DAC, defeating Elon 68-45. And the Dragons' final home game of the year results in a win. Well, it was senior day, and it was a lot of fun. Great game from Aline Maskalk and Tereza KRACIKOVA. Bailey Greenberg with a game-high 18. So for our entire crew, led by Eric Weber and Trey Lewis, my partner Chris Markowitz, I'm Ari Bluestein. The proceeding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of Drexel basketball here on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus.
This has been a presentation of Learfield IMG College.